Hi there.
Oh dear Lord, not you again. I thought you would have understood that I never wanted to see your face again.
Well, I feel that we left off with you not having a proper understanding of what drum corps is really all about. And besides, everyone deserves a second chance, don't they?
Fine. So tell me more about drum corps then. You have one more shot.
Hold on a minute. First I must log on to my Drum Corps Planet account and check the latest forums to read the latest gossip about DCI.
Drum corps planet? What is that?
It's a place where Corps members, veterans, and wannabes can all come together to trash talk other Corps shows, talk about how much the activity is changing for the worse, and speculate about what Corps are going to make finals.
Interesting. That sounds like a waste of life.
It is. But it gives all of us something to do to occupy our time in the off-season, and it helps the veterans and those who never actually marched Drum Corps feel like they are still important and have a valid input in something.
I see. Is there anything else that drum corps people do to reminisce and keep on reliving the memories of drum corps?
Yes. Every single person who has marched Drum Corps will make a Corps photo their profile picture on Facebook for at least 10 months out of the year. Even if it's someone who has marched 30 years ago.
Wow. That seems a bit excessive. I noticed that you have gained some weight since the last time I saw you. How could you have let yourself go so much in so short a time?
Well, I have not altered my eating schedule since coming back home from tour. On tour, I was very physically active and was able to eat a lot of food if I wanted to. But now that I'm home, I still eat the same amount of food without the exercise. But that is okay, because as soon as I go on tour again next summer, I will lose 40 pounds again.
40? That seems like a lot.
Believe me. It happens.
I see. So what will you do when you can no longer march and have aged out? Will you alter your eating habits then, or start exercising more?
No. In addition to marching with the Reading Buccaneers, I will most likely be like the majority of every other Corps member who has aged out and just start to get fat.
I see. Are there any other fun facts about drum corps?
Yes. High school children obsess over DCI videos on YouTube. They often comment on videos saying things like, "Watch that attack snare drums, that line wasn't very straight, and wow, I could have done such a better job. You suck." When in reality, they have never actually even auditioned for a drum corps. In addition, after members have just finished a season, they scour YouTube for weeks, trying to find videos that they are in, so that they can repost them on their Facebook walls, saying things like, "Oh how I missed this, yeah boy, and look how awesome we were." Then they post those little heart symbols next to the videos.
Interesting. I remember that you said you played the marching snare drum. Have you always played the snare drum?
No. At my rookie year at the Tragic of Orlando, I was not very good. Even Banished Beyond lasted longer than I did at the auditions, before I was cut. So instead, they had me play rack with the front ensemble.
What is the front ensemble?
Those are the members who play things like marimba, xylophone, vibraphone, timpani, and rack. They are stationary the whole time, and have much less physical demands in the Corps than the marching members who must actually exercise and stay in shape, in order to march and perform at the high-velocity tempos. They are the ones who hand out water bottles in parades to the members that do the actual work. They are also known for sitting around and looking for shade to rehearse under, while the rest of the Corps is stuck out in the sun.
Wow. The front ensemble sounds really lazy.
Others like to think so, but we actually do a lot of work. We have to unload and load the equipment off of the trucks several times a day, which is quite a task. And as for the physical training, we weren't entirely lazy. We participated on occasion. One of our favorite mottos was, "You cannot spell pit without PT." After my year as a rack player, I came back, beat Banished, and made the snare line.
I remember some of the music that you said you played as a snare drummer. I still fail to see how any of that is music.
Well, there is actually a lot more music that we drummers play, other than what I mentioned before. Other musical terms are some that we came up with ourselves, such as Colin McNuggets, Scodojo Mayors, Digadoodle Dragadiddle Tutlets, Grandpas, Little Nieces, Second Cousins Twice Removed, Patty Waddy Pancakes, Soldier Toys, Pity the Fools, and much more.
What? You are still a drummer, and not a real musician. Do brass players play challenging music?
Yes. Their music is filled with fun brass tricks such as single tonguing, double tonguing, triple tonguing, scoops, glisses, shakes, boinks, and much more.
I don't know what any of that is, but a lot of it sounds sexual and inappropriate.
In addition, trumpet players think that they are better than everyone else. They tend to be really cocky and have a bad habit of hurting their chops by constantly trying to play higher notes than other trumpet players. However, this is true for trumpet players in all areas of music, not just in drum corps. Also know that DCT is a brass drum corps musician's best friend.
DCT? What is that?
All you need to know is that it is like crack for brass players.
Okay. So what is your favorite drum corps show of all time?
I have many favorite shows, but I think my all-time favorite was the 2008 Phantom Regiment's show, Spartacus.
Oh really? Why is that?
Because Spartacus totally owned that chick.
I see. And as a Blue Devil veteran, what was your favorite show that you marched in?
Well, the general consensus at the Blue Devils is that our favorite show is our 2009 show, the 1930s.
Oh really? Why is that?
It is the only show that we have put on thus far where almost the entire show can be performed at home or anywhere early. All that we need are a few chairs.
Interesting. If you had to pick any other corps to march with other than the Blue Devils, who would you pick?
The Holy Name Garfield Cadets Drum and Bugle Corps of Bergen County, New Jersey, which is actually in Allentown, Pennsylvania.
Oh. And why is that?
George Hopkins.
Oh my God, not this again.
What do you mean?
You are obsessed with this George Hopkins guy for some reason.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
What is the meaning of life?
George Hopkins.
See what I mean? Why do you love George Hopkins so much?
I greatly admire a quote he once said.
And what was that quote?
He once said, "When I grew up on the west side of the Big Apple as a young lad, Dan Akerson once told me a story right after I had seen Les Miserables on Broadway. He said to me, 'Hop, when you truly peer through the looking glass and get in the zone and can see past all of the conflict and resolution surrounding our daily lives, you will see that everyone is capable of the pursuit of happiness and finding our favorite things. We will witness an American revival. We are the future. No toy soldiers will be able to stop us, and we will become like angels in the architecture.' This I believe." And that quote really hit home with me.
That was interesting. Is there anything about drum corps that annoys you personally?
Yes. Sir Seedorf shouldn't have come to world class. The electric guitars and turquoise noise are ruining drum corps. Carolina Clown can't decide on a uniform that they like. My girlfriend dumped me because she said that I have no future as a result of marching too many summers of drum corps and I could never see her. One of the Cavaliers almost killed me last summer because he didn't know how to spin a rifle properly. My bus seat partner last year was a big fat contra player who smelled really bad. I had to suck on a tenor player's pair of dirty sweaty underwear for my rookie talent. All of this laying on the field stuff and strange body movements are starting to creep me out. I can never get turf monkeys out of my shoes. Some jackhole from Santa Clara stole my core necklace. I never get to house at a box 6 housing site.
Look, I'll let you finish, but I just want you to know that I'm confident you and others like you are the dumbest of all time. This second attempt at explaining drum corps is worse than the first one, and I am even more confused as to why you do it.
What can I say? Sequels and second attempts in general aren't always that successful. Just look at the 2006 Cadets and the 2009 Phantom Regiment. Neither of them were in the zone those years.
Fine. Well then, may I ask you one more question to try and get a better understanding of what drum corps is?
Certainly.
Have you ever seen the movie Drumline?
Go kill yourself right now.